last but not least, I'd like to welcome on stage Laura Piaggio, and she will present the project Cuentos de Viejos. I always forget the title, but doesn't mean the project is not worth remembering the title. And this is actually a TV series, but also a program that is now Transmedia, and also you have an app. And before we start with the discussion and explain about the project, Laura will show you a few slides about the Transmedia and interactive part. So I think you can use this mic.
Oh, yes, okay. Hello. I don't know, can you show the slides? Well, this project is called Cuentos de Viejos. In English, the name is Old Folks' Tales, it's a translation. In fact, it's a transmedia project. It was conceived as a transmedia, although in the beginning it was an artistic project focused in portraits of, moving portraits of elderly people, telling oral storytelling. And then when we started the development in 2011, we finished the development in 2012. I think it's a magic year, and the complete project. The project is focused in elderly people telling a meaningful story of their childhood. It's a short story, it's a 5-minute story that is both connected with personal experience and with the context, the history. So the complete structure is the TV series that is animated documentary, 5 minutes. The target is the family, is the broader audience. Then we have a website. It's a collaborative website. People can send stories. What we encourage is that the younger in the family, the younger generation, capture the story of the elder generation and send it to the website. In the website, we connect the stories together. About subjects, about elements that have connections between them, so you can navigate through the stories in a map or following the links between the stories. And also there are school projects, that is, there are subjects that can be explored using the video and capturing the stories told by the elders in the neighborhood or in the community. So the school projects are focused a specific target, that is teachers and students, and all these stories are also collected and published on the website. And is the part where the user-generated content has the highest value. It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's worth the pain. And we had to find key partnerships to keep this thing going. And finally, the last element, we have developed an app to help people to collaborate with the stories, with the website. With the app we want to to give strength to the social experience, and some of the stories that people send to the website are transformed into the animated episodes. So the first season comes from research of stories, but the second and the third season are partially part of the stories come from the website, were sent by the audience. Of course, we do the interview again, but we make specific callings for the audience to send send more stories. Sometimes is the most voted story that comes into animation, but sometimes we choose the stories because we make this kind of mixture, because sometimes the best stories are not the most popular stories, or at least sometimes the elder people is surrounded by a huge community, and some people are not so so surrounded, so supported, but they have great stories to tell. So we make this kind of mixture. And here is like a slight view of the first season, the second season, and the third season. As you see, we mixed rotoscopy and animation, different techniques. 2D, we only use 3D the first season, then always 2D, but sometimes cut out, sometimes drawing, morphing, and there's stop motion, different techniques, different styles, different art direction for every short film. And we mix the now image of the elder telling. That is that's why we use rotoscopy to capture the gesture and the way the elder tells the story, and then the reconstruction. And we mix all that stuff together in the same picture. We can see a trailer, so you can see a little bit of it. Yes?
Pero empecé a sentir a la gente que gritaba que un avión estaba encendido en llamas y un tío que se tiraba en paracaídas con una banderita blanca, y yo lloraba que me mataba de mi padre, que lo quería ver y lo quería escupir al alemán. Pero aquello me pareció un monstruo. Todavía lo veo bajando en paracaídas.
Is it on? Yeah. Thank you very much, Laura, for explaining the complicated structure of the different projects that go into Cuento de Huejos. One question that probably has been asked before: why did you use animation? Because this is something collecting stories of the old folks. Why do you need to animate them?
Well, the first reason is that the directors, I must say that this is a co-production between Hierro Animación from Colombia and Piaggio de Matei in Spain, and it is co-produced by Señal Colombia, that's the public broadcaster in Colombia. And The directors are animators, so they direct animation. So they don't think projects without animation. So that's the beginning of the story. We do animation because we love animation, and that's the reason. Then there were another reasons why we think of this kind of project using animation. The main thing is because we were talking about memories. Memories are distorted by time, are not truth. The truth, we are not focused in the truth, but we are focused in feelings and how that kid is felt about what was happening, and how does the elder feels now telling that story, what happens with this relationship. And also, when you talk about memories, you don't remember things in the same resolution. I mean, there are things that you remember clearly, and there are other things that you completely forgot, or you don't care about that. So animation allows us to focus in what that person is meaningful for them to remember, and what really make this mark on his memory. So. The other thing is, so animation allows the directors to express that. And also we can share the same picture with the elder telling, and how tells the story, and what is the relationship between this elder telling the story, because there are people that is laughing about terrible things, so you share in the same picture a terrible event, and the people that is making laugh about that, or people that is living again the same moment. So with the gesture is a kid again living the same event, or many other situations. So animation allows us to get this situation. And last but not least is because the issue is, it was a difficult issue to talk about memories. Sometimes memories are not sad memories. I mean, they are meaningful memories, but some are also sad. So animation, we need to make it attractive. We need to put in value these memories. So we think that animation is a great thing to do that, because people love animation too. I mean, we love animation, but we are crazy, but not so crazy. But many people love animation. So when we do this, the audience really appreciate these stories. And it was the best reward for everyone to send a story, is to see it, to watch it transform into animation on TV. So it's the best reward.
Well, now you got a lot of reason how animation can enhance the documentary project. So if you want to start your own animated documentary project, and I think this is true for the other two projects we talked about already. It's memory, it's animation that can do so many other things that documentary cannot do, or live action cannot do anymore. So another question that is really coming up, because you said you co-produced with Colombian public television. Was it difficult to convince public television to do something like that? Because having someone like a television broadcaster on board means that you get a wide audience for a project like that. This is necessary, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to collect stories. But did they jump on this project? Did they like it from the beginning, or did you have time to convince them?
Well, I have to do that. The Colombian TV was really jumped into the project, was really in love with the project, and was not a problem to convince us to do it. The problem was that the project was not thought to be made in Colombia. It was developed to be made in Europe. So we have to change the whole pipeline, change the whole team, change the way we think the structure, etc., for a low-budget project with 7 hours of difference in time. So translate most of the animation to, everything in the animation to Colombia. That means doing only the, well, not only, but in Spain we finally made the part of the music, all the creative, the illustration, art direction, but the direction was shared. But that was the main challenge. Also, the varying of the how you say divisas, the change. I mean, they give you pesos, so the pesos are not worth the same all the time. The first season was, in fact, we lost 20% of the budget during the second season, for example, because of the varying of the change during the production. So, but it wasn't a problem to convince them. Colombia was in the process, I mean, you know, the peace process, so they are really exploring memory. It's an issue that into the public media to explore and to capture the memory of the starting point of the conflict. And so they want to keep it global. As you may see, there are stories from everywhere, but to collect those stories will be local stories. So they want to keep that memory. So for them, it was a good project for them.
But does it also mean that before approaching Colombian public television, you tried to sell the project in Europe?
Yeah.
And not successfully?
Not successfully at all. It was a project that was really appealing for festivals. As you may see, there we have a lot of prizes, a lot of presentations of case studies. But in Europe, there is always it was a beautiful project, a moving project, a fantastic project, but not an but not a project, but not a real thing here. I think that for different things, sometimes it's a target, it's not for kids, it's for family. I won't say it's for adults, I think it's for family, for the whole family. The slots sometimes is rigid, I mean 5 minutes, where I put this. The original format was not 5 minutes. It tends to be 5 minutes because the budget is lower. But also the subject, talking about history, is sometimes a problem. What kind of history? What kind of sensibilities it may take? Will the people want to know more about history or listen more stories about the past? Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. But there are different things that were said to us.
So actually, you mean we should encourage European television stations to do more animated documentary projects?
Well, in fact, France TV have released the Long Vacation. That's a story. That's a new series about childhood stories about the starting of the World War.
So they're starting now.
So yeah.
But how was it with financing your film cross country, being in Colombia and in Spain? And
wow.
Did you have any difficulty selling an animated documentary project, or was it similar to what we heard before? You sold it as as animation and not as a documentary project.
Well, as you may heard before, it's an animation budget, but with a documentary process. I mean, you have to do research, you have to do interviews, you have to choose, you have to edit, and then also we have to storyboard, you have to lay out, you have to make animatics. So it's a mixture of both elements. Working together, it was a small co-production, so it was easy to work together. We all, in all these years, we get to know each other a lot. We already knew part of the director was one of the Colombian director was part of the authorship or the creative team. So we are really close to each other. But the problem is the financing. The smaller the production, the smaller the financing. So we have to struggle in some way. But we all wanted to make it. So in the end, you learn.
When you would have to recommend animated documentary to the audience, would you recommend to go into TV production in series, or would you say go for a feature film if you have the story for it, and if it goes on, or would you say a short film or 30-minute film would be the thing to go for?
Well, I think it's a personal fight. I think that we must do TV production, and we must take the authorship to the TV. I mean, your vision, and there are many examples of success in the audience or about that. So I don't know why. The thing is, we must fight for less, for the TV or the public TV being less conservative. At least in some countries, I must say, if I were French, maybe things were different, I don't know. But in some countries, TV is too conservative, and they want results too fast. And that doesn't go well with animation. But I wouldn't leave TV to, to the others. Also keep on doing features, of course, but it's not the only format.
And before we end, I would like to talk quickly about Transmedia, because this is also part of your project, and this is also the new trend out there, even overlaying animated documentary, even though this is also considered a part of it. How easy or how difficult is it to finance Transmedia?
Well, it's hard. If animation is hard, Transmedia is harder, because you don't know exactly where to address sometimes, and you have to build more complicated partnerships to make it work, especially if is not entertainment or video games and this stuff. But it works, and I think that finally, when you start moving, all the rest comes with. I mean, we have just signed a deal with the network of public libraries in Colombia that is going to support the project to keep on during time. So in the end, it goes. But it's difficult because you have to keep on dealing things. It's not a close thing after the production.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. Are there any questions from the audience? If not, you also have time to approach Laura, Ralf, Falk, Heribert, and Eric and Ole outside now. And I would like to thank you for listening to us for 2.5 hours and sticking here in this room with us. Thank you very much to Documentary Campus. Thank you very much to all the participants up here. And thank you very much to APD for having the animated documentary case studies here.